We would like to welcome Viejo Rivas and Nina Caspi, Curanderos from the Peruvian Amazon rainforest, together with Daniel Frick, our translator. I first met Viejo while studying with his father, Don Agustin Rivas Vasquez, and in the late 1990s, and have enjoyed a close friendship with him ever since that time. He hosts retreats at his jungle camp near Iquitos, Peru, and travels to Europe annually for teaching and speaking engagements. He's also been appointed cultural ambassador for the Ucayali region in Peru. Next to him is Nina Caspi, his partner and renowned curandera in her own right, who works both with Viejo in Peru and while traveling throughout South America, teaching and leading ceremonies. Together, they offer powerful and balanced medicine for healing and growth. Our translator, Daniel, has been living and working in Peru since 2018 and has been on the curandero path since that time. Thank you for joining us today for this pre-recorded talk. We hope that you're able to join us when we go live in January to be able to answer questions from the audience. But we'll cross that bridge when the time comes. We have a lot of technological hiccups, oftentimes broadcasting from the jungle. As you know, our topic for this year's conference is sacred lands, sacred waters, and sacred stories. And could you share your thoughts with us, Viejo, about the sacred relationship of traditional curanderos to the lands and waters of Amazonia and how those traditions have been handed down through the generations?
Bueno, ante todo, buenas tardes, buenos días, buenas noches a nivel del mundo. Ya muy contento de poder estar en este interview junto con el maestro Crow, John McKinnon, que es un gran maestro para nosotros, y poder entrar en esta conversación por la preocupación de la espiritualidad dentro de la naturaleza y nuestras costumbres de nuestros pueblos. Nosotros, los curanderos, tenemos una relación para el mundo.
First of all, he wants to, he's greeting and he's hoping to reach all of the people around every time zone. And he's saying as well that the healers are having a relationship with everyone in the world.
Sabemos que diferentes áreas de nuestra Amazonía o selvas vivas dentro del mundo tienen sus madres propias.
They are aware that from the place where they are in the Amazonian, but they are as well aware that everyone has its own mother in the whole world.
La que esas madres cuidan y protegen esas áreas sagradas.
All of these mothers are protecting these sacred areas.
Donde realmente se merecen el respeto profundo para poder ingresar a esas áreas energéticas sagradas.
Where all of them are should have the same experience to have to feel the sacred connection with Mother Earth.
Porque estas áreas, aparte de tener sus madres, también están conectados con diferentes espíritus que son también parte de la protección de la naturaleza.
Because even though they have their own mother, they're as well, these areas are as well connected to different spirits who are as well protecting these areas.
Es ahí cuando nosotros podemos conectarnos con el permiso que pedimos para poder ingresar a esos sitios energéticos sagrados.
It's where the curanderos as well ask for permissions to enter there with the permission of spirits.
Porque los curanderos tenemos que tener la mejor intención de cuidar la naturaleza, cuidar la protección espiritual de la cual nos conectamos con los espíritus.
Because the healers always have to have the best connection and as well to take care of nature, to have and to as well honor these places.
Es ahí que con esa confianza, con esa honestidad nos podemos ayudar entre espíritus y curanderos para proteger y para curar a las personas también.
And the connection is that important because you have the best intentions, and it's kind of a giving and receiving in between the healer and the spirits. So you
Así
can,
también,
so they help each other.
así también podemos ingresar al mundo mágico de las aguas, donde están también los espíritus de las aguas, del aire y de todo, la tierra y todo esto.
So they can as well enter in connection with the different spirits or the elementals like water, earth, or all the other elements.
Porque cada sitio sagrado necesita conectarse con un curandero, o cada agua sagrada que existe en el mundo necesita conectarse con el curandero para que sus espíritus del agua o de los bosques o de las montañas puedan conectarse con el curandero para poder transmitir a los demás.
The thing is that also these sacred places need to be in connection with a healer so that these can spread out. And he's talking about as well sacred mountains, as well sacred rivers, sacred waters, sacred fires, sacred everything.
Con ese respeto que se merece la naturaleza y los espíritus, tanto de la tierra como del agua, pues ese es el mayor potencial que se puede sentir cuando ya se materializan también los espíritus para presentarse dentro de nosotros, para poder usarlos para las operaciones chamánicas.
It is about respect and as well the representation of the spirits in manifestation of the healers to make the best possible healing for other people.
Es así que el curandero con los espíritus ya materializados, que son entidades ya de diferentes componentes naturales energéticos, se puede ayudar a las personas, a los animales, a la propia naturaleza, a que también se curen, se protejan, se puedan distribuir en armonía este mundo que vivimos.
So it is about as well the harmony in between the sacred places, the healers, and the people who have to receive the healing. So everything has to be in a sacred connection, and as well, it is about the materialization of the spirits in the curanderos or healers, and with this connection to be able to heal all other people.
Es así que nosotros podemos conectarnos muy espiritualmente por medio de plantas sagradas que tomamos, y podemos entrar en un estado de visionario emocional para poder conectarnos con estos espíritus protectores, espíritus que se transportan a través de nuestra alma y nuestro espíritu.
And that's how these spirits as well transport themselves in between the soul of the healers or as well the normal people. And it's about the spiritual connection in between these spirits and the sacred spots.
Y darnos la oportunidad de poder compartir lo más importante en este mundo y hacer entender de que existe esta profundidad en el mundo que vivimos, porque somos parte de la naturaleza. Los humanos somos parte de esta naturaleza.
And it's as well about sharing all these informations we receive from the spirits to heal the others.
Eso sería la parte principal de mi sentimiento hacia los trabajos que hacemos dentro del chamanismo, para unir las culturas, unirnos los espíritus de las culturas que tanto amamos y protegemos de esas culturas.
That's what he feels about the cultures and as well the nature as a healer to, in its principles.
Porque no hay mejor protección que cuidar tu área más que donde vives. El área donde vives debe ser muy cuidada y protegida por ti mismo como curandero que somos. Nosotros protegemos nuestra área para que esos espíritus sigan viviendo y no sean depredados por otras partes que no nos pertenece como familia de curanderos.
It is as well about, it is one of the most important things for a healer to just look after the spot and area he's living in. And that's the best part. And like the looking after is as well the best protection and as well the best connection from a healer to its sacred space.
Entonces unimos lo que es los espíritus elementales, unimos lo que es la energía de la tierra, unimos lo que es la energía de la profundidad de las aguas, como los yacurunas, médicos elementales con médicos individuales de cada energía que se protege.
It's about as well unifying the energies coming from earth or from the elemental spirits, as well the Yakuruna, for example.
Muy bien, eso sería para mí la parte principal de mi manifestación sobre la protección del agua y la protección energética de la tierra, de áreas sagradas.
That's his feeling about the principles, about to protect the waters, to protect nature, and as well the connection of the spirits.
Thank you. Nina, as a native Argentinian, do you feel that the difference in the climate and terrain influenced the traditions in the sacred relationship with the land compared to what you found here in the Amazon?
Bueno, primeramente, buenas tardes a todos. Hola, Crow, Daniel y a todos los que nos están acompañando. Agradecer esta posibilidad y agradecer al gran espíritu que nos permite esa conexión.
She's as well giving thanks to everyone who is joining us, and as well to the Great Spirit that he is giving us the permission to make that connection.
Bueno, en cuanto a la pregunta, como nativa argentina y también cuando viajo a otros lugares dentro de Sudamérica, que son también de diferentes climas y formas, yo siento que primero lo sagrado habita en todos lados.
She, as a native Argentinian and as well traveling around different places, she says that the sacred things are everywhere.
Entonces no siento que sea el clima y los factores naturales lo que hagan que no se pueda conectar un país o su gente con lo sagrado, sino más bien los hábitos.
So she thinks that it's not about the place of the spot you are in the world, but it's about the habits and your cultural influence, which makes the connection in between you as a person and nature.
Lo que cambia son los rituales, las formas de conectarnos con lo sagrado.
What's changing are the rituals and the forms of how you do them.
Entonces, si nosotros como seres humanos vivamos donde vivamos, nos conectamos con lo sagrado de cada lugar en donde estamos, entonces empezamos a tomar esos rituales que hay en nuestra tierra, propios de nuestra cultura y nuestros hábitos. ¿Para qué? Para recordar, reconectar con el origen de la sabiduría de ese lugar.
So we always try when we are as a person or as a usual person, just in one sacred spot, we use the forms and the rituals we know to connect ourselves. So it's not about the area you are living in, but it's about the habits and rituals that you do to be in a spiritual and sacred connection with the area you are.
Hay lugares como la Amazonía, también como ciertas partes andinas, que, por decir así, han mantenido más en el tiempo sus tradiciones. Eso es real.
There are different spots, for example, in the Amazon region or as well in the Andes, which just maintain their culture and their rituals more than in other spots of the world.
¿Por qué? Porque han sido menos invadidas por cierto materialismo y consumismo propio de otros países un poco más avanzados en ciertas cuestiones, ¿no? Entonces, si nosotros vemos eso, yo diría en la Amazonía sí hay más conexión o más posibilidad de conectar más rápido con lo sagrado. ¿Por qué? Porque ellos todavía mantienen más lo autóctono, lo original.
So she's talking about as well that in these regions, like for example, the Amazon or the Andes, it wasn't that much invaded by materialism or capitalism as it was in different parts of the world. So it is kind of easier to get in connection with nature or the spot there, or in general with spirituality, because it was maintained in these areas.
Entonces ahí sí hay una diferencia.
So there is a difference.
Ahora, para mí lo más importante dentro de esta pregunta es, como seres humanos, reconocer que todos formamos parte de lo sagrado.
The most important thing for her in that question is to know that we all, as human beings, are part of the sacred nature.
Y cuando nosotros, por ejemplo, yo como argentina fui por primera vez a Perú, a Bolivia,
And when she, for example, went for the first time to Bolivia as an Argentinian, or to Peru,
lo que sucedió que es que uno reconoce ese origen.
you kind of recognize your origin in that moment.
Entonces ahí esos lugares lo que nos posibilitan es entrar en esa conexión con el mundo sagrado, tanto espiritual como natural.
So we get permission in that exact moment to get in connection with the sacred nature.
¿Para qué? Para que cuando nosotros salimos de esos lugares, como es la Amazonía, como son los Apus, los Andes, podamos llevar esa conexión sagrada a donde vamos.
So this does that when we kind of exit these sacred spots like the Amazon or the Andes and the Apus, as she mentioned, we are kind of like bringing it with us, this wisdom and this sacred connection with nature, as wherever we are in the world, so we can just get it out of there, this connection.
Viejo, could you share some details about the stories of the Yakaruna or other jungle spirits and how they're important in the teaching about living in a proper relationship to the river and its environment?
Bueno, primeramente, hablar de médicos de diferentes áreas protegidas por la propia naturaleza es hablar también de formas de curar, formas de proteger, formas de ayudar también estos espíritus que son prácticamente entidades muy claras que podemos compartir los chamanes con estos espíritus.
Talking about these spirits, or as he mentions them, medics or like doctors, is as well like talking about the sacred relationship we have with them.
Se hace una conexión de honestidad, se hace una conexión de promesa con los espíritus cuando se nos presentan con sus mensajes.
It is a connection with a lot of honor, and as well a really honest relationship in between the spirit and the healer himself. It is about a promise you get each other, you make with each other.
Es así que cuando nosotros trabajamos con unas personas, humanos, por ejemplo, entonces nosotros invocamos a los espíritus de Diakuruna, médicos que vienen a la ceremonia a operar a las personas, vienen a sacar sus males.
It's when the healers, for example, are working with human, like when they come to ceremonies, they invoke and they ask the medics and doctors from the different elements to come to the ceremony to heal them.
Así como también los médicos también que se encuentran dentro de la selva, dentro de las plantas, como el Chuyachaki, por ejemplo, protector de la selva.
As well as the spirits from the jungle or from the plants themselves. As well, he's mentioning Chuyachaki, who is as well like the protector and the guardian of the jungle itself.
Cada uno de estos espíritus protectores, cada uno de estos médicos que vienen de áreas protegidas, áreas energéticas, cada uno tiene su misión en la persona que cumplir.
Each spirit has its own mission to accomplish in that person who he is manifesting. So when they come to heal, they have a mission.
Y en un estado visionario, en un estado de ceremonia, de ritual, pues ellos aparecen porque los invocamos para que vengan a curar, a operar, vengan a solucionar problemas, vengan a dar oportunidad.
And so in a visionary state of mind, in ceremony, in rituals, they come and we can see them in that moment because the healers are invoking them. So like they call them, that they join the ceremony to heal the people.
El curandero tiene que tener fe ante estos espíritus. Tiene que tener muchísima fe.
The healer has to have a lot of faith that they come.
Si
And
no,
as-
no se desarrolla. Si no, no se
Sí.
desarrolla el trabajo espiritual.
If not, the spiritual work won't develop itself.
El curandero no puede cambiar su fe por ningún motivo ante los espíritus protectores, médicos, elementales y todo lo demás que nos rodea de esta naturaleza.
The healer is never allowed to change its own faith for the in connection to these spirits.
Es así que en las ceremonias que hacemos, pues nuestro corazón, nuestro espíritu y nuestra alma se conectan directo con estos espíritus curanderos, espíritus que son médicos, que vienen a curar, porque nosotros tenemos la fe de que ellos también tienen su fuerza mágica.
So when a healer starts the ceremony or is in connection or is in a ceremony or a ritual or invoking, calling the spirits, he has a connection from the heart, from the soul, and from the spirit, which is a strong connection with that spirit. And then they come and then they join the ceremony.
Porque el curandero es automáticamente una conexión para que estos efectos puedan desarrollarse.
Because the curandero is an automatic connection that these things can materialize themselves, or like these spirits can materialize.
Ahí está nuestra fe con los espíritus, ahí está nuestro corazón. Y más que todo, el respeto a la medicina de la cual ellos también protegen.
And there's the connection and as well the respect for the spirits who are protecting the medicine.
Ellos protegen las plantas medicinales. Ellos protegen nuestros procesos. Cuando nosotros tomamos una planta medicinal, pues esos espíritus están juntos con esa planta dentro de nosotros.
So when we, for example, drink a plant medicine or a sacred medicine, the spirits are in that medicine and as well in us. So when they come, when we drink the medicine, they are protecting our process and as well the medicine itself.
En estado normal no se les podrá ver, pero en un estado de ritual, un estado de ceremonia, con plantas maestras, pues muy claro se los va a ver, se los va a tener y se los va a sentir profundamente lo que vienen a hacer.
In a normal or sober state of mind, we can see them, but they're pretty clear to see when we are in a ceremony. We can actually feel them, that they are surrounding us. So the faith and the honesty is actually the base that these spirits can continue to exist with all its magic. That's where the magic happens, in faith and trust and honesty.
Thank you, Cron.
Thank you. Nina, you have a beautiful singing voice. When you sing during ceremonies, it often seems to me that you're telling stories through song. Is this true? And if it is, are you singing to the spirits or the spirits singing to us through you?
Primeramente, siento que gracias a los espíritus, nosotros podemos como seres humanos conectar con nuestro espíritu y dentro de nuestro ser hay memorias, hay experiencias que nosotros podemos transmitir en las emociones, en los tonos, en las vibraciones.
First of all, thanks to the spirits, she thinks that we have the connection to our own spirit in that special moment, and in that spirit there's hidden a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge of everything, and that's when we make the connection with our own spirit, thanks to the connection with the spirits who are accompanying us in the ceremony.
Entonces, al entregarnos al espíritu de la curación, confiamos en que lo que vamos a cantar tiene esa vibración, tiene el propósito de la sanación.
So when we give ourselves in that trust and in that confidence that we are connected to the spirits, that's when the song comes out in its own special way.
Y como curanderos, curanderas, somos seres humanos también. Tenemos una memoria, tenemos una historia en nuestra alma, hemos recorrido muchos lugares.
As
Y a la hora
healers,
de, perdón,
as healers, we have our own. We are humans always. There's no curandero which is not human. So we have our own history to tell, and as well our own memories to talk about.
entonces, a la hora de cantar y a la hora de poder curar y sanar por medio de del canto, de la voz, los espíritus entran en conexión con el gran espíritu de cada uno de nosotros. Y al entrar en esa conexión, empezamos a transmitir en comunión, por decir así, precisamente eso que le hace falta a la gente, que es la experiencia de vida. Por eso en los cantos parece que uno va contando historias, porque en realidad sí vamos contando historias, historias de vida, historias de la tierra, historias del mundo natural, historias del mundo espiritual. Y eso es lo que como seres humanos necesitamos.
So when we are singing during a ceremony, it happens that yes, they are actually talking, or like they are telling stories. It is stories because they are in that special moment, they are connected from the spirits to their own great spirit, and in that moment they are starting to telling stories. But it's not stories just about a lifetime story. It is as well about the story of the same earth, about sacred rivers, about sacred spaces, about everything. And it seems that humanity, or the people who are joining a ceremony, are exactly in need of these stories, because they're kind of disconnected to their own story.
Yo recuerdo al principio cuando uno empieza este camino y va a cantar en la ceremonia, bueno, uno se pone nervioso porque, claro, los maestros están mirándonos, ¿no? Entonces uno dice, bueno, ¿qué voy a cantar?
She's remembering, like, when she was in the beginning of her own path, she was kind of nervous when she started singing in ceremony, because she was always pretty impacted by the masters who were singing in the ceremony, and she was thinking about, like, what will I sing in that moment.
Entonces uno se programa, ¿no? Dice, voy a cantar esto. Y
So
cuando llega la...
So you program yourself, or like you're saying to yourself, well, I would sing that song or that special song in that moment.
Cuando llega la ceremonia se olvidó de todo.
But when the ceremony starts, you forgot everything.
Entonces, ahí es cuando los espíritus nos enseñan.
And that's the exact moment when the spirit is teaching us.
¿Por qué? Porque nos hacen cantar desde la sabiduría propia de la sanación.
Because they're teaching us to sing with the same wisdom of the same healing in that special moment.
Y nos desafían a confiar en ellos.
And they are kind of challenging us to trust them.
En que no podemos controlar las cosas espirituales desde ese lugar de la razón.
Because we cannot reasonably control the spiritual development in that special moment.
Nos enseñan que no estamos separados precisamente de ellos, del espíritu, del mundo espiritual, del mundo natural.
So they teach us as well that we are not in a disconnection with them, that we are always in connection with the spirits and the spiritual world.
Nos enseñan la humildad porque no somos autosuficientes.
They teach us to be humble because we are not autosufficient.
Entonces en ese momento uno se rinde en un sentido de entrega precisamente a los espíritus.
So in that moment, we kind of give up, but it is kind of a giving up of giving in, because we are in that connection with the spirit in that special moment.
Y el canto, que es dedicado a la sanación, a la curación, se vuelve precisamente eso, un cuento, una historia.
And in that moment, the singing in that moment gets, or is developing to a story to tell.
Question is for both of you. You know, we're all aware that everything is sacred, everything in nature, but there are some places that seem to hold more spiritual energy and strength and are special places. Mama Caspi, Taita Caspi, you know, the camps of Yushin Taitai and Sopai Chaka. Why do you suppose that it's true that there is more energy in certain places, and what do you think we need to do to protect those places?
Lo primero es aquí es proteger el área donde vives, proteger el área donde trabajas.
First of all, it's protecting the area where you're working in.
Y estos lugares ya están conectados a través del mundo por la fuerza de la conexión, por la fuerza de nuestra invocación, por la fuerza de nuestra intención que tenemos a través del mundo.
So these spots are as well in connection with the whole world, just because of the intention of trust of the energy we give to these spots, and they're in connection with the whole world in that moment.
Así como nos brinda la naturaleza su fuerza, así nosotros tenemos los curanderos el compromiso de protegerlo, el compromiso de ayudarle también a que tenga más fuerza cada día esa naturaleza.
So as nature, for example, gives to the healers the strength and force to achieve everything they want, the healer as well has the responsibility to protect it, and as well to make it better every day, so nature comes to its own force and strength again.
Cada campo o cada sitio energético tiene su propia energía.
Every sacred site has its own energy.
Pero unido a través del mundo es una potencia increíble de protección al mundo total.
But in connection with all the other sacred spaces, it is an incredible force and an incredible power which is generated in that moment.
Por eso nuestro compromiso como curanderos, unidos a través del mundo, podemos unir esas energías para poder compartirlos también, no solamente con la parte humana, también con los animales, también con las partes de las aguas, también con el aire, también con todo lo que nos puede rodear, el sol, la luna, las estrellas y todo lo que nos acompaña en un mundo mágico espiritual.
So the healers all around the world have to always be in the same connection, and they have as well the mission to always protect everything which is part of nature, be it the sun, be it the elements, be it animals, be it different plants or different spaces around the world. So they always have the mission to protect, and as well to reinforce these spots so they can stay in an energetical highest space possible.
Bueno, sumando a esto que conversamos con Viejo, con ustedes, yo siento que hay distintas partes del mundo en donde hay lugares sagrados específicos.
There are different parts in the world where there are specific energetically high points or high spots.
Son lugares que son portales de sabiduría ancestral.
They're spots like a portal of wisdom or spiritual wisdom.
Que cuando nosotros vamos a esos lugares, conectamos con esa fuerza.
When we go to that spot or to these spots, we connect to that strength.
Entonces, yo siento que cada uno de nosotros, cuando conecta con esa fuerza en esos lugares sagrados, como es los árboles sagrados, Mama Caspi, Taita Caspi, como son los apus, por ejemplo, hay apus sagrados que tienen una fuerza impresionante.
So when we go to these sacred spots, be it Mama Caspi or Taita Caspi, or there's as well different different mountains or apus who has their own wisdom. The first thing what happens is that they wake up a kind of feeling in ourselves that this strength is really there, and that this wisdom really exists about these spots.
Entonces, cuando cada uno de nosotros vamos y va despertando, empieza a reconectar con esa sabiduría también que hay en cada uno de nosotros.
So when each one of us, when we are going to these spots, we are waking up the wisdom as well, which lives within ourselves.
Y desde ese lugar es que siento que comienza esta posibilidad de poder honrar y proteger a estos lugares sagrados.
And that's when we as well like start to honor these spots, because it's just natural when we recognize the wisdom we have in that special moment. It's just natural to as well protect these spots.
¿Por qué? Para nosotros poder honrar a esos lugares sagrados de la naturaleza, primero necesitamos honrarnos y respetarnos a nosotros mismos, protegernos.
First of all, we have to honor and respect and as well protect ourselves when we go to these spots.
Honrar nuestra vida, honrar nuestros actos.
We have to honor our life and as well our acts.
Entonces, cuando nosotros reconocemos esto en nosotros, empezamos a ver hacia el mundo que nos rodea.
So when we recognize these things in ourselves, we start to look around and as well doing the same things for our surroundings.
Y ese mundo que nos rodea lo empezamos a respetar y a valorar.
So we start to value and to respect our surrounding and the world we're living.
Porque ¿cómo vamos a respetar a un lugar sagrado si ni siquiera reconocemos lo sagrado que somos nosotros?
Because how can we actually respect a sacred spot if we don't recognize that we deserve as well our own respect and honor?
Que tienen los lugares, que ya descansan, que descansan. Las energías de los lugares nunca mueren.
So the energy of the spots never die. They just have a rest.
¿Por qué? Porque cuando nosotros los invocamos, despertamos sus sabidurías.
Because when we invoke them or call for them, we wake up the wisdom and the energy.
Es ahí que no es tan constante todos los días o X cosas de poder mirar esto, sino que existe un momento especial de conexión.
There's a special moment where this connection exists. It's not every time of the year or like every single second that we have the connection with that spots.
Pero sí, la sabiduría ancestral, tanto del lugar sagrado como de las personas que vivieron en ese lugar, siempre van a estar con vida, siempre van a estar en conexión, porque esa sabiduría es completamente fuerte dentro de este mundo espiritual.
But these energies will never die, because the energies of the people who live there or of the sacred spots itself, it will always exist. It will always be there. They will
mientras que golpeemos un tambor, mientras que cantemos una invocación, mientras hagamos rituales, mientras miremos la luz, el aire, el sol, la luna, las estrellas, pues esto siempre eterno va a ser.
So always we play a drum, or we look at the lights, we look at nature, we look at different elements. It won't ever die, because it will be eternal in that sacred moment.
Por eso hay que tener los curanderos, nosotros los curanderos tenemos que tener fe y creencia para poder entrar en este mundo mágico.
So that's why the healers have to have faith, and they have to really strong believe in these connections, and as well in spirituality itself.
Cuando el curandero no tiene fe y no tiene creencia, pues no se va a presentar nunca ningún espíritu para poder hacer algo por esta tierra.
When a healer doesn't have faith or doesn't believe, there will never be an appearance of any spirit who can protect nature, and the healer as well can't or neither can protect or do anything with the spirits in that moment. So the trust is the basis of everything.
Y el ser humano no es más que la naturaleza.
And the human being is not any more than nature is.
Somos compatibles en este mundo natural.
We are compatibles in this natural world.
Depende de nuestras propias intenciones de cuidar, proteger e invocar con esa fe que vamos a poner para curar.
It depends on our own intentions and intuition if we invoke, if we protect, or if we look after after nature in that moment.
Bien, yo recuerdo un poco, esto me hace acordar cuando por primera vez estuve en Bolivia, en los Andes, en las montañas, perdón.
She's remembering that this when she was first in Bolivia, or when she was first in Bolivia in the Andes.
Bueno, yo venía viajando por Argentina y llegué a Bolivia, a un lugar donde, bueno, había distintas comunidades, personas, ¿no? De distintas culturas como aymaras, quechuas.
She was traveling from Argentina to Bolivia, and she recognized that there was different culture, for example, Aymara and others, and she recognized these cultures.
Y nos empezaron a hacer rituales diferentes.
And they started to do different rituals to the people there.
Y en uno de los rituales, que era una caminata por las montañas,
And one of these rituals, which was a walking tour to the mountains.
bueno, yo vi un cuarzo en el río y lo levanté.
She
cristal, ¿no?
she saw a stone, a quartz in the river, and she picked it up.
Entonces, el yatiri que dirigía ese ritual me dice, no puedes llevarte así nomás un cuarzo.
And the person who was guiding the ritual, she said, you can't just pick it up and take it with you.
Y yo me quedé mirándolo y le digo, ¿pero por qué? Y él me dice, primero tienes que pedir permiso para llevar este cuarzo.
And she was asking herself why, but the guide just told her that she has always asked for permission to take it with her.
Tienes que conectar con el cuarzo y preguntarle.
You have to connect yourself with the quartz and ask him.
Para mí, que estaba recién empezando, decía, wow, ¿qué es esto, ah?
She, as she was actually just starting with her spiritual path, it was a wow moment, because she was absolutely bluffed by everything what was happening in that moment.
Y en ese momento yo empecé a analizar cómo hemos perdido precisamente ese respeto a la naturaleza.
She was thinking about how they just lost that sacred connection to nature.
Como si una piedra no formara parte de la naturaleza. Es como si a nosotros nos sacaran un dedo.
As if the stone wouldn't take part or wouldn't be part of nature itself. But she compares it to that we kind of lose a finger when we from our body when we just pick up a stone from nature.
A mí me sirvió mucho porque, si bien era algo muy simple,
it served her a lot because it was something pretty simple.
Entendí la necesidad que tenemos los seres humanos, sobre todo que vivimos en países un poco alejados de este respeto al mundo natural.
She understood the necessity we have as humans to be in connection with nature.
De reconocer lo sagrado del mundo natural en cada una de los lugares y espacios que vamos.
And as well to recognize the sacred connection we have to every spot in every space we go to.
La naturaleza es un ser vivo
Nature is a living being
en todas sus formas,
in all its ways.
no solamente un animal que ladra o que hace ruido es un ser vivo, las plantas, las piedras, los minerales, el agua, todo es vida.
Everything is life. Everything is life itself. It's the rivers, it's the animals, it's stones. Everything is alive.
Entonces, yo siento que
Diálogo.
podemos honrar a todo, podemos honrar a estos lugares sagrados y podemos empezar honrando lo más simple que es lo que nos rodea.
So we can honor everything what is surrounding us, and that makes it kind of simple to go through life, because when we start honor everything, it gets more simple.
Bueno, eso sería pues algo fantástico que podamos honrar con más conciencia, ¿no? Las cosas, ¿no?
That would be fantastic, that we just can honor everything with more consciousness.
Hay mucha gente que puede prepararse para ayudar también a la tierra, ayudar a estos espíritus que nos protegen.
There's a lot of people who could prepare themselves as well to be more protective with the spirits or nature itself.
Donde la humildad es la parte más fuerte para conectarse con los espíritus.
Where being humble is the strongest force to be in connection with the spirits.
El curandero tiene que tener la fe y la posición también para poder ayudar a los espíritus. No, nosotros tenemos que preguntar también, espíritus, ¿en qué te podemos ayudar?
The healer as well has to honor the spirits, and as well to be humble, and as well has to ask the spirits, what can we do for you? It's not just a receiving from the spirits, it's a giving and receiving.
Por eso me alegra mucho que personas como Crow sea una de las personas que se preocupa por proteger la selva, la Amazonía y cuidar esos lugares sagrados.
That's why he's really happy that persons like you, Crow, are looking after nature and are actively acting that different parts of nature or all nature is protected by the humans.
Porque tengo entendido que nosotros solamente pedimos, pero no decimos en qué podemos ayudar.
Because that's how he understood it, because we always ask for things, but we don't ask what we can do for other beings.
Bueno, eso sería nuestra colaboración y agradecemos muchísimo a ustedes. Agradezco de mi parte primero, ya, a ti, Daniel, por la traducción, a Crow por esa intención de salvar al mundo también y proteger más que todo al mundo.
He is thanking a lot for the protection you're, for example, showing to the world, or like the intention to protect Mother Nature as well, for the translation, and that is their part of the contribution.
Y a la gente del mundo a entender que cada día que somos más humildes, somos más poderosos dentro de la naturaleza.
And as well, he's giving thanks to the people, because understanding that every day we get more humble, we are getting more powerful in the system of nature itself.
Gracias. Nina.
Gracias.
Bueno, gracias también Daniel, Crow, a cada una de las personas por esta hermosa conversatorio, ¿no?
She's giving thanks as well for the nice chat we are having.
Y deseando que cada vez seamos más las personas que nos animemos a ser auténticos, a conectar con esa sabiduría a través del mundo natural, del mundo espiritual.
And she's as well hoping that we are getting more and more people every day in that strong connection and sacred connection with nature itself.
Todos somos importantes en esta creación de la vida.
We are all important in creation of life itself.
Y todos podemos aportar un granito más de luz y de conciencia en cada acto que hacemos.
And we can all give a little bit more every day in the consciousness and giving light to everyone.
Hola, Viejo. Nina.
Hola, Crow. How are you?
Very well. We have a couple of questions. Es poco difícil en español inglés. We
My English, yeah. I try.
we don't have our translator with us, so we're going to struggle through, but Nina and Viejo and I speak through the heart, so we usually can get the questions across. One of the questions is about crystals. We were asked, because they are also part of the earth, what concerns do we have about the crystals that are circulating that have been mined and taken without permission? ¿Comprende?
Los cristales, como por ejemplo, ¿cuál es el permiso que debes hacer para poder tener esos cristales? ¿No?
Tengo que responder.
Pequeña, nomás dime.
Bueno, hay muchos, pero uno es colocar el cuarzo en la mano, que es lo que utilizo.
We have many things for this, for the put in the hands, the cristal in the hands, y
Conectar con ese sentir.
we have a connection for this feeling.
Y el cuarzo tiene una vibración.
The quartz have vibration.
Entonces, yo le pregunto al cuarzo.
The Nina asks, or people ask for the quartz.
¿Y quiere venir conmigo o quiere quedarse en ese lugar?
Ask for the coming, start in the place, or coming for the Nina, this crystal.
Y habitualmente, cuando yo siento una energía de calor en mi mano,
sometimes feel so much warm in the hands.
Es cuando siento que el cuarzo quiere venir conmigo.
Feeling the quartz is coming together, the Nina.
Porque es como un ser humano.
It's the same the human.
Cuando nosotros conocemos a alguien,
We coming know the other person.
sentimos una vibración.
We feel one vibration.
Empatizamos.
We got connection
Y cuando el cuarzo está frío,
if the quartz is cold,
y no me emite ninguna vibración,
no send the never vibration,
es que no empatiza con mi energía
no is coming together the energy.
y necesita regresar a donde está.
Need to come back the crystal for the place.
Esa es una forma.
This is one form.
Hay muchas formas.
Oh, many forms.
And to go from Spanglish to English, Nina was referring to ways of cleansing a crystal that you have, regardless how it's come to you, whether you take it from the earth and ask permission at the beginning, or whether you come by it some other way, purchase or gift. It's very important to make that connection to the crystal itself. This is true about any power article. But in the case of crystal, you try to make a personal connection and feel the warmth and the vibration of that individual crystal connecting with yourself. That is part of a cleansing. There are other methods as well that people use, such as moonlight and so forth, but that wasn't part of their answer. Gracias. Also, someone asked about the cities in Peru, and I suppose also other places in South America. Is there a similar disconnection from nature in the cities in your countries as there is in much of the world? Do you feel that it's mostly the countryside that is protecting this connection to nature?
Yeah.
Comprende?
Many times this connection for the earth, for example, for the Pachamama, we need to make different rituals for the say thank you for the life. And many times also the spirits, not only the water, the air, also different spirits, the apus, the grand spirits protectors around the mountain. This is very special. What is you give the blessing for this place, for the more survivor and around the world, more connection around the world. No? Also give the different presents, no? For the connection, also the different master plans for the coming connection, for the pay at the earth, for the gratitudes for the earth, for the coming, for the back around the world, for the protection, for have more life for the protection, for give more the power, no, the wish for the coming more power, no. Also have the time the big bear, the mountain, high mountain, the Apus, yeah, need this connection, porque you know, it's send the one father around the world, it's send the one grandfather around the world. That big mountain, the Apus, also have familia, the Apus, they have wife, have son and daughters, have many, you know. No, it's have connection for the village, for the cultural part, the village. What's connection also for the different shamans for the coming have more power also. No, this is correct.
Gracias. We have someone who is a Spanish speaker who is offering to help to translate. Isabel or Jonathan, would it be possible to give Isabel access?
Yes, what access
Yeah,
do
we
you
can
need?
do
Shall I
that.
pop? Yeah, shall I pop
Okay.
Isabel on the
Can you
screen?
see me?
No, you're
Not
coming on.
yet.
You're coming on in a minute, Isabel. We will spotlight.
Okay, but you can hear me.
Yep.
We can hear you.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Hola, Nina. Hola, Viejo. Soy Isabel de
Hola,
Colombia.
Isabelita.
Yo también soy de una comunidad indígena en Colombia. Entonces, ahorita lo que necesitan con la traducción.
Gracias.
Ok, gracias, muy amable, gracias. Sudamericanos somos.
Thank you, Isabel, for offering to help us, and also thank you for being part of our very beginning of reaching out into the international community. Language can be a problem sometimes, but I will ask if you can translate some of these questions to Viejo and Nina, and give a better translation than I.
Yes, of course. Let me... Tell me which one?
Well, the last question, some of the nuance was missed about how do Viejo and Nina see it as being more difficult to make a spiritual connection for people who are in the cities, even in South America, much as we've
Okay.
experienced in the rest of the world.
Ellos preguntan que si es más difícil para personas como ustedes, que son curanderos, establecer conexiones espirituales, y también para la gente en las ciudades establecer conexiones espirituales por la cuestión de estar en una ciudad, de estar desconectado un poco de la tierra. Es difícil establecer eso, establecer conexiones con la gente en ciudades.
Bueno, yo creo que en la parte espiritual se trabaja de espíritu a espíritu.
He thinks that the spiritual field works spirit to spirit.
El curandero tiene sus animales de poder, sus animales de protección.
Every curandero has their own animals for protection, no matter where they are.
De la cual esos animales de protección son los que llevan nuestros deseos, nuestras intenciones para la curación a distancia.
these animals are the ones that establish the connections. They are the ones that establish and send the information, no matter the distance between spirits.
Y se desarrolla el efecto a la distancia. Hay muchos casos que se han curado también a distancia.
This connection is developed in distance. There is many cases of people that being cured in distance, no matter how, between cities, between countries.
Una vez nos juntamos 8 curanderos. ¿Por qué? Para dar una intención hacia personas que habían venido a depredar la selva, a sacar petróleo.
Once we met 8 curanderos for establish an intention for saving as a wood from people that came into the land to explode the petrol.
Entonces nos juntamos mi padre, nos juntamos otros amigos más curanderos y hicimos un poder grande que una semana salieron ellos corriendo.
So we met my father and some friends, and we established that energy, that powerful, that the next week, these people get away from our lands just because of the power we gather with the rest of the people.
Hemos invocado a todos los poderes del mundo espiritualmente y vinieron a acompañarnos en nuestras intenciones de sacar esa gente de la selva.
We gather all the spiritual connections in the world, and they came and helped us to take these people out of our land.
Y dieron el resultado fantástico.
And the result was fantastic.
De la cual nosotros hicimos unos agradecimientos a los espíritus.
And then we made something for great our spirits for that help.
Comenzamos a cantar muchas canciones chamánicas, acordándonos de todo la tierra, acordando de todo lo que habitamos en esta tierra.
We started singing a lot of native songs in order to say thank you to the earth and the spirits in that earth.
Después de este ritual, llovió 3 días seguidos sin parar.
After this ritual, it started raining during 3 days without stop.
Y así fue una de las más partes grandes que dimos la protección a esta Amazonía que pertenece a nuestra tierra.
And that is one way in which we protect our Amazon that is part of our land.
Thank you. We are running short of time, but I would like to get in 2 brief questions if I could. One was from Max, which he actually translated himself. It came in at, see, I'm not sure what time it was, but it basically was about feeling the presence of spirits and talking to the spirits and having doubts in his mind as to whether they're real or if it's just his imagination. And if he has those thoughts, is he offending the spirits? I think, ¿sí?
Tenemos un compañero que pregunta que él siente que tiene conexión con los espíritus, que si eso puede llegar a ser una ofensa para los espíritus.
No, al contrario, es compatible, es elegido.
No, it's not an offense. He is chosen by the spirits to talk to him.
Lo que pasa es que hay que encaminar esa parte de la cual la persona no conoce.
but he needs to work in that part because it's unknown for him.
Entonces se le enseña el camino de la espiritualidad y se repotencia él mismo por las herencias que tiene ancestral.
So he must look for someone to help him to develop that ability in order to empower that connection that he must have with his ancestors and make it more powerful for him and all the people around.
Por eso tenemos una enseñanza en la selva con mi hermano Crow.
That's the reason why you two together, Viejo and Crow, have this teaching field in the woods, in the jungle.
Y mi señora Nina.
And Nina.
Entonces, hay personas que tienen ya heredados esas sabidurías, pero necesitamos encaminarles, necesitamos hacerles que esas energías sean más compatibles con ellos mismos.
So that's the reason why we need to empower and make that connection stronger to themselves.
Entonces, se les hace el reconocimiento hacia sus personas con esas herencias.
So we recognize these people to their heritage.
Porque a veces esas energías que tienen, que sienten, a veces tiene que acomodarse en una parte de su ser, en su parte espiritual, para que despierte dentro de ellos.
Because sometimes these spiritual connections needs to be gathered in a part of your body in order to be developed in the best way.
Entonces ahí es donde cada herencia hace su estilo y su forma de curar o de transportarse.
That is the way that heritage became in something special, their own style for health and to transform that energy and to move from another places.
Entonces, las mujeres curanderas, con sus energías, también son un poder muy grande.
So women, curanderas, they are also one of the biggest powers in the world.
Por eso también es muy importante reconocer a la mujer curandera.
That's the reason why it is also important to recognize curanderas, women that work in that field.
Porque de ahí se parte la curación.
We're running out of time, but there is one question left that I think is important that a lot of people would like to know. Most of modern Western society now, not most, but much of Western society is looking toward indigenous people to learn to reconnect. Does that feel like a burden or an invasion of your culture, or is that something that you embrace?
Mucha de la sociedad de esta parte del mundo, la europea, Estados Unidos, están buscando por establecer conexiones con comunidades indígenas. ¿Eso puede ser visto como una ofensa hacia nosotros?
Yo creo que no es eso el punto. La ofensa no puede existir ahí. Lo que sí es aprender cómo llegar.
He doesn't think that is an offense. The thing is that Western society needs to find the best way to get that connection to indigenous communities.
Hay que entender que las personas que venimos de países en donde no se nos ha fomentado tanto esa conexión.
We need to understand that many of people like us that are from different countries in which these kind of connections have not been developed.
Estamos en una búsqueda profunda
We are looking in a very, very strong looking
de conectar con la esencia de cada uno.
for connecting to our own essence, to our own being.
Entonces, cuando vemos esos pueblos originarios que mantienen su esencia,
So when we see that original towns that keeps their essence,
queremos eso,
we want that,
necesitamos eso.
we need that, we look for that connection.
Entonces, por eso es que mucha gente de distintos países tiene esa necesidad tan grande de poder entrar en conexión con estos pueblos originarios.
That's the reason why many people from different countries are looking for establish that connection to indigenous groups, original groups in whatever they are.
Y hay que tener presente, como dice Viejo, dos cosas siento yo.
And we have to take into account, as Viejo mentioned, two different things.
Una, el respeto a esos pueblos originarios, a sus costumbres.
First, the respect to that towns, to their customs.
¿Por qué? Porque los que venimos de otro tipo de países tenemos formas a veces un poco avasalladoras, prepotentes.
Because sometimes when we are looking for establish that connection to the indigenous communities, we are very strong. We go looking in a very, very disrespectful way.
Entonces necesitamos recordar el respeto.
So we need to remember respect each other, because
Y
I'm
sentir,
talking from me, because for us indigenous communities, we establish respect as basic for us, for our living.
y sentir que estamos entrando en su casa, en sus costumbres, en su hogar, en sus creencias.
They need to know that they are coming to our lands, that are our homes, and you are coming in order to respect our cultures, our beliefs.
Y del otro lado, las comunidades, los pueblos originarios,
And in the other side, the communities, the indigenous communities,
también entender un poquito que esta gente requiere, nosotros necesitamos de más paciencia.
also understand that it is required, it is need a little bit of patience.
Entonces, tenemos que procurar un equilibrio en ese respeto.
So we need to establish an equality, an equilibrium between this respect.
Es muy importante que las personas que vienen a visitar las comunidades nativas, sus culturas, tengan la humildad grande.
He also thinks that people from outside that go to the indigenous community needs to understand the sense of unity that there are in this type of communities.
Porque las comunidades nativas tienen sus normas.
Because the native communities, they have their own rules.
Por ejemplo, si te invitan a comer,
For example, if they invite you to a meal,
tienes que comer todo. Tienes que comer todo lo que te dan, porque si no, nunca más te dan de comer. Así te expulsan de las comunidades.
you need to eat everything they gave you. Because if not, if you left something in your plate, they will exclude you from there forever. You will never be able to go back.
Entonces, si nos dan de comer mono, si nos dan de comer chancho del monte, hay que recibirlos.
So no matter what kind of food are they giving to you, you need to accept it respectfully in order to establish that connection.
Ahí recién eres bienvenido a la comunidad como un hermano más.
Then you are welcome in the community as part of it, as a
Sí.
brother of us.
Este es el valor más grande que quieren las comunidades, quieren la humildad de las personas, que no vengan con costumbres que no son compatibles en los sitios de las comunidades.
It is what communities want. They want humbleness because they are. So that is what they want. They want you to be humble in order to share.
Gracias, Nina. Gracias, Viejo. Gracias, Isabel. Thank you very much for coming to our aid.
Espero conocerte, Isabel, cualquier rato. Besos. Besos a todos, abrazos a todos, ¿ya?
Thank you very much. And I apologize for going a little bit over, but I would like to turn it over now to Krista and John to wrap up today's conference, and we'll see you all again tomorrow.